Imagine your body contains tens of thousands of tiny cellular factories operating day and night. They constantly produce energy and synthesize proteins. But just like any industrial plant, running continuously for a long time inevitably leads to a massive accumulation of cellular waste and biological debris. Damaged protein fragments, dysfunctional organelles, and oxidized metabolic byproducts start piling up inside your cells like overflowing trash bins. This growing pile of microscopic garbage gradually slows down the efficiency of your entire production line. This is the true biological reflection of aging. But what if I told you there is a way to trigger a deep cleaning program within your cells, sweeping away all this ancient biological garbage completely? A natural method that can, thoroughly cleanse your system and even restore your cells to a much younger, more vibrant state. Would you actually believe it? The answer lies hidden behind a seemingly simple daily habit: long-term intermittent fasting. It initiates a profound internal transformation. When you restrict your eating to an 8-hour window and fast for the remaining 16 hours, your body undergoes a remarkable systemic shift. This isn't some mystical wellness trend. It is a deeply ingrained survival program written directly into your genetic code over millions of years. Let's break down exactly what happens inside your body, starting from the very first hour you stop eating, and watch the cellular magic unfold. During the first 4 to 6 hours of fasting, you might not feel much. Your stomach empties, and your blood sugar levels gradually begin to decline. However, your body is still actively using the food you just consumed as its primary fuel source. At this point, your insulin levels start to fall. Think of insulin as your body's warehouse manager. Its main job is to transport sugar from your bloodstream and store it safely inside your cells. When you are constantly eating throughout the day, this manager is working nonstop. Over time, it becomes exhausted and less responsive to commands. This sluggish response is known as insulin resistance. But fasting finally gives this overworked warehouse manager a much-needed period of deep rest. As the manager rests, its sensitivity slowly recovers. By the 8th to 12th hour, the true biological magic of intermittent fasting begins to unfold. The glycogen stored in your liver is nearly depleted. Your body realizes that the external food supply has been temporarily cut off and must adapt. At this crucial moment, an ancient evolutionary survival switch is quietly flipped on. Your body transitions from burning sugar to burning stored fat. This process is called the metabolic switch. Imagine your body as a hybrid car that usually runs on gas, but automatically switches to battery power. Fat is your body's backup battery, and its reserves are far more abundant than you might think, providing a steady and highly efficient energy stream. But this metabolic switch is not even the best part. When your fast extends into the 12 to 16-hour mark, a profound cellular program initiates. This program is called autophagy. While the word sounds highly academic, its fundamental concept is incredibly simple: cells eating their own waste. Imagine your cell as a busy room. Normally, you are constantly bringing in new furniture and piling up new items, leaving absolutely no time to clean. But now, the external supply has stopped. The cell realizes it must rely on itself, so it starts searching through the room for broken, old furniture. It identifies useless clutter, dismantles these broken pieces, and recycles any usable materials to reassemble them into brand new, functional objects. The waste cleared during this process is exactly the cellular garbage that causes aging: misfolded proteins and highly dysfunctional mitochondria. In 2016, a Japanese scientist won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for discovering these exact mechanisms of cellular autophagy. His groundbreaking research revealed a stunning fact: autophagy is not just a cellular cleaner, it is the core mechanism for preventing severe diseases. When autophagy declines, the rapid accumulation of garbage triggers chronic inflammation, accelerates aging, and increases neurodegenerative risks. Intermittent fasting is one of the most natural and effective ways to activate this autophagy process, deeply cleansing your body from the inside out. When you maintain this fasting pattern for several weeks or months, your body undergoes even deeper changes, especially within your mitochondria. Mitochondria are the microscopic power plants inside your cells responsible for producing the vital energy needed for every single biological function. When you eat constantly, your mitochondria are like factory workers, forced to work 24 hours a day, becoming completely exhausted and inefficient. Their energy production drops, and they begin to generate large amounts of harmful byproducts called free radicals, which act like toxic factory exhaust. These free radicals cause severe oxidative damage to your cells, significantly accelerating the aging process and degrading your overall tissue health. But intermittent fasting gives these power plants a crucial breathing space. They begin to self-repair and even generate new, younger mitochondria. Research shows that people who practice long-term fasting have a significant increase in both the absolute quantity and quality of their mitochondria. This means your cells can produce energy much more efficiently while generating significantly less waste, leaving you feeling more vibrant and alive. Meanwhile, your brain is also quietly transforming. Fasting promotes the secretion of a crucial protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. While the name is complex, you can simply think of it as premium fertilizer for your brain, stimulating the rapid growth of brand new neural pathways. This powerful protein enhances neural connections, significantly improving your learning capacity, memory retention, and overall cognitive performance. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes perfect sense. When our ancient ancestors faced food shortages, their brains had to become much sharper. They needed heightened focus to find their next meal. Therefore, during a fast, your brain does not become sluggish, it becomes exceptionally clear. At the same time, your systemic inflammation levels begin to drop. Chronic inflammation is like a small, unextinguished fire burning inside your body. It won't burn your house down immediately, but it continuously damages your blood vessels, tissues, and vital organs, accelerating the aging process. Modern dietary patterns, especially those high in refined sugars and heavily processed foods, constantly stimulate and worsen this inflammatory response. Intermittent fasting effectively cools down this internal fire by significantly lowering insulin levels, reducing oxidative stress, and activating autophagy. Stanford University research found that individuals who consistently practice intermittent fasting show a remarkable decrease in inflammatory markers. This reduction in inflammation means your cardiovascular system, your immune defenses, and even the youthful appearance of your skin can vastly improve. Even more exciting is the potential for long-term intermittent fasting to actually delay your biological age at a fundamental chromosomal level. Inside your cells, there are structures called telomeres. Think of them like the protective plastic tips at the ends of your shoelaces. These crucial caps protect your chromosomes from fraying and degrading. However, every time a cell divides, these telomeres become slightly shorter. When telomeres become too short, the cell can no longer divide. It enters a state of senescence, or dies, which is exactly why we physically grow old. Fascinating research shows that fasting can activate an enzyme called telomerase, which actively works to repair and extend these protective telomeres. While this won't make you immortal, it can indeed help your cells maintain a youthful, highly functional state for a significantly longer period of time. But there is a crucial fact most people don't realize. The biological effects of intermittent fasting are not instantaneous. It requires genuine patience. You will not fast for a single day and suddenly become 10 years younger. This is a gradual process that requires consistent time and cellular accumulation. Think of it like going to the gym. You don't build visible muscle after just one workout. It takes weeks or months of dedication to see real changes. Similarly, cellular autophagy, mitochondrial repair, inflammation reduction, and telomere protection are all incredibly slow but continuous processes. Scientific studies indicate that it takes at least several months of regular, disciplined fasting to observe significant improvements in biomarkers. Have you ever tried intermittent fasting yourself? During those initial few weeks, how did your body actually respond to this new eating schedule? Did you feel a sudden surge of vibrant energy, or did you find the process utterly exhausting and difficult to endure? Everyone's biology is unique. Share your genuine experiences in the comments below. We are incredibly curious to learn about the diverse ways different bodies react to this practice. Now, we must address some widely circulated misconceptions. Many people mistakenly believe that intermittent fasting is simply about starving yourself. They think the hungrier you are, the better the results, with some even pursuing dangerously extreme multi-day fasts. This is fundamentally incorrect. Intermittent fasting is not about depriving your body of food. It is simply about bringing a structured, natural rhythm to your daily eating window. During your designated eating period, you still must consume adequate nutrients and sufficient calories to fully support your body's essential functions. If you experience extreme dizziness, heart palpitations, or severe weakness while fasting, it is a clear biological signal that your method is flawed. This could mean you are severely undereating during your window, or your body simply hasn't fully adapted to burning fat for its primary fuel yet. Another common fear is that fasting will cause significant muscle loss and severely damage your resting metabolic rate. This concern is mostly a myth. This fear is only valid if you do it wrong. Short-term daily fasting, like a 16-hour fast, will not significantly impact your muscle tissue at all. Your body is highly intelligent. During a standard fast, it will always prioritize burning stored body fat for energy rather than breaking down muscle. However, if you chronically restrict your total calories or engage in extreme fasting for days on end, muscle breakdown becomes a very real danger. The absolute key is balance. If you ensure adequate protein intake during your eating window and incorporate regular, moderate resistance training, your muscles will not only be preserved, but they might actually grow more easily due to the natural spike in human growth hormone caused by fasting. A third major misconception is treating intermittent fasting as a magical cure-all that can effortlessly solve every single one of your health problems. While it undeniably offers profound benefits for metabolic health, inflammation control, and cellular repair, it is certainly not a magical solution. If you use your eating window to gorge on highly processed junk food, refined sugars, and unhealthy fats, you will completely destroy the benefits. True health is a comprehensive system. The quality of your diet, consistent exercise, deep sleep, and stress management are all equally indispensable. Fasting is simply one highly effective tool in your overall wellness toolkit, not the entire foundation. Furthermore, it is not suitable for everyone. If you have diabetes, especially if you are actively using insulin or blood sugar lowering medications, fasting can lead to dangerous hypoglycemia. In such medical conditions, any fasting protocol must be strictly supervised by a qualified healthcare professional to ensure your absolute safety. Additionally, if you have a history of eating disorders, such as anorexia or binge eating, restrictive fasting windows can trigger harmful mental patterns. Pregnant or breastfeeding women, growing teenagers, and individuals suffering from severe chronic illnesses should never attempt fasting casually. There is also the highly overlooked risk of overfasting. Some people become obsessed with the benefits and mistakenly think longer is always better. They might restrict themselves to one tiny meal a day or fast for several consecutive days. This extreme behavior inevitably leads to malnutrition. Such extremes can cause severe hormonal imbalances, a weakened immune system, and in women, it can frequently lead to significant menstrual irregularities. Always remember that moderation is the ultimate key. For the vast majority of people, a 16 to 8 or 14 to 10 window is perfectly sufficient. These moderate windows are more than enough to fully activate your body's deep repair mechanisms without pushing your system into a state of extreme stress. So, who exactly is the ideal candidate for long-term intermittent fasting? It is perfect for adults looking to optimize their overall metabolic health. If you struggle with insulin resistance, stubborn abdominal fat, chronic systemic inflammation, or simply want a scientifically proven anti-aging strategy. Then, provided your baseline health allows it, adopting a disciplined, moderate intermittent fasting routine could be an incredibly rewarding lifestyle choice. But please remember, it is always best to consult with a doctor or a certified nutritionist before starting, especially if you have underlying conditions. When you actually begin this practice, you will likely experience significant discomfort during the first few days, including hunger pangs and headaches. Irritability and fatigue are also completely normal transitional reactions. Your body simply needs adequate time to adapt to this new metabolic rhythm. Switching from a constant, glucose-dependent feeding mode to a fat-adapted fasting mode is a major biological shift that usually takes 1 to 2 weeks. Once this adaptation period passes, The initial discomfort will gradually fade away. You will begin to experience much more stable, sustained energy levels. You will also notice vastly clearer cognitive function and significantly improved sleep quality as your body becomes highly efficient at burning fat. You are no longer a slave to the constant, exhausting roller coaster of blood sugar spikes and crashes that come from eating multiple times a day. Here is a crucial detail many overlook. During the fasting window, you absolutely can and should drink plenty of pure water to stay fully hydrated. Black coffee and unsweetened tea are also perfectly acceptable. They will not break your fast and may actually enhance fat burning and cellular autophagy. However, anything containing even a single calorie, like a small spoonful of honey or a splash of milk, will instantly trigger an insulin response. This minor insulin spike is enough to completely interrupt the delicate fasting process and halt the deep cellular repair mechanisms in their tracks. Looking at this from a much broader evolutionary perspective, intermittent fasting reveals a profound and undeniable truth about human biology. Our bodies were intricately designed by nature for intermittent feeding, not for the constant, round-the-clock consumption we see in modern society. Over millions of years of rigorous evolution, our ancient ancestors survived countless, unpredictable cycles of immense food abundance and severe scarcity. They certainly did not have the luxury of 3 square meals a day plus snacks, with refrigerators constantly stocked with an endless supply of food. It was precisely within this harsh environment of alternating feast and famine that the human body evolved its remarkably powerful adaptation mechanisms. We evolved to efficiently store energy when food is plentiful, and to brilliantly utilize those reserves to clean waste and repair damage during scarcity. The modern 24-hour eating culture completely violates this ancient survival wisdom, keeping our bodies trapped in a perpetual state of digestion. This unnatural, constant feeding perfectly explains why chronic metabolic diseases have become so overwhelmingly prevalent in our modern, industrialized world. When your insulin is always elevated and your cells are constantly processing new nutrients, those vital repair programs never get a chance to run. Think of your body like a computer. If you never shut it down and never clear its cache, it will inevitably slow down, freeze, and eventually crash. But I must emphasize again, intermittent fasting is not the only answer, nor is it necessarily the best answer for every single person on the planet. It is just one of many effective health tools. Some achieve great results through regular exercise, adequate sleep, and a balanced Mediterranean diet. The absolute key is finding a healthy lifestyle that perfectly suits your unique biology and, most importantly, one that you can sustain long term. If you decide to try fasting, start gently with a 12-hour window. Listen closely to your body, observe its reactions, and adjust your approach. Ultimately, the profound impact of long-term intermittent fasting on the aging process is simply about giving your overworked body a much-needed pause. It presses the pause button, allowing your cells to clean up, your mitochondria to heal, and your ancient survival programs to function perfectly again. If this scientific journey shifted your perspective on health, please like, subscribe, and share this knowledge. Remember, health is a lifelong journey.